Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Are you able to hear my voice? Say yes in the chat. Fantastic, fantastic. I am Chaitra Vedalapalli. I'm the president of Women in Cloud. Today's session we are focusing on is the AI-powered job hunting, smarter tools for smarter careers. So that was the intention. We just did last week with Eva, just going about how to find the job, how does you need to prepare for it. It was very much getting the insight from the recruiter's point of view. What today we want to really think about is how you are going to use the AI tools so that you are ahead of the game and you're preparing for it. So, welcome for all of you. So, can you tell me where you're joining us from? Put it in the chat. Where are you joining us from? I'm joining from Seattle. So, let's see. We have Uganda. Welcome, Julius. Great to have you here. Okay, Nihil is looking for a job. Fantastic. We will address that one. Kat is new to cybersecurity, very interested in AI and how to leverage for research and career search. Absolutely, we'll talk about that. And then Beth is doing job searching while learning new skills. So it's different this time around and need all the help I can get with the resume. So we'll talk about that. We will do very much a hands-on. We may not be perfect. You have to really help us make sure that we provide it. So who is this session designed for? So I want to make sure you're in that category. One is job seekers and career launchers or relaunchers, recent graduates and mid-career professions, and then job seekers preparing for $70,000 roles, and participants who are in the VIX certification and credentialing programming. So tell me out of 1, 2, 3, 4, which one applies to you? So that way I know that you're participating with us. So go ahead. 2, so recent graduate and mid-career, most of them are in 1 and 2. Okay, 1 and 4, fantastic. So Arena is on 4, Beth is 1, 2, and 4, Zoe is 2. Beautiful. Okay, so by the end of this session, what will you achieve? So next slide. First is understand how AI has reshaped the modern recruiting and job search workflows. Use AI tools to identify a high fit jobs and tailor your applications faster. Write a compelling resume and cover letters with the AI assistance. Optimize your LinkedIn profiles for recruiter algorithms, and then also create a personal AI toolkit to stay competitive and confident. Which one is the most interest for you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But before that, before you put the number, I want you to say your name and dash, whatever the numbers are. Put your name and then dash so that way we can go back and ensure that we are providing. So, which one is the most important that you want to learn today? Put your name and the numbers. Nihil, all the 5. Oh, wow, that's interesting. So we have Stella. She only wants to focus on the personal toolkit. We have number 5, 1 and 5. Excellent. Melanie is 2, 3, and 4. Number 2. Okay. I think based on all of what you're saying, I think number 2 looks right. Everyone wants to make sure you know how to use the AI tools and also focus on how to create an AI toolkit to stay competitive. Okay, sounds good. So let's talk about what's happening in the AI job search revolution. Over 80% of the resumes are filtered by AI before a human ever sees them. Isn't that interesting? So there's 3 things that are happening right now which you need to pay attention. One is the rise of ATS, which is the applicant tracking system, and the LinkedIn algorithms. Those 2 is really driving if your resume actually can even show up or not show up. Like that's what it is. Number 2, readiness and relevance matter more than the volume. So are you ready for that job? Is the relevance for that job? So how are you going to make sure that is there? So we'll talk about. And then the AI tools. Are you going to pick the right AI tools to do it? Because sometimes the tools are so expensive, you may not even have access to the tools. So that is also becoming game changing from the usage perspective for people who get the job versus who do not get the job. But how you use those tools is also very important. We may do is another session on AI readiness, is how to use the tools for your productivity or for content development, whatever the reason will in 2026. But for now, I want you to focus on is the AI job search revolution. This session will be extremely interactive. The more you speak up, the more you engage in the chat, the better this is going to be. Okay, let's go to this particular philosophy. What do you believe in? AI won't take your job, but someone using AI might. How true do you believe? Yes or no? From your philosophy standpoint. Lisa says yes, Priya says yes, very true. Yep, so today we want to ensure that you are someone who is using AI and you are getting the job. The whole intention of Women in Cloud is to ensure you are in an economically stable roles in the AI economy. That is what we want to focus on, ensuring that you are having that stability, you also have the mobility, and you are ready for driving the outcome for you and for your family and the community around it. So anything that we do is to ensure that outcome is achieved. And that is the intent of driving the mission on unlocking or democratizing $1 billion of economic access. If we don't do that, you have 100% right to come back and say we are not focusing on that particular intent, because the intent is to ensure everyone is in the roles, they are in the economically stable roles. Is that good? Do you all agree with that? Say boom in the chat if you agree with me. Okay, let's go through a quick poll. Is how many AI tools have been used in your job search and how are you using it today? Take a moment. How many tools are you using for your job search? And how are you using? What tools are you using? Put it in the chat. I want to know what's happening from the AI tools perspective. GPT, fantastic. Chat GPT, very good. Are you paying for the Chat GPT, Anihil, or it's a free one? At least 3 ChatGPT AI jobs, Copilot, elevator pitch for resume revisions, ChatGPT, Copilot. Beautiful. So it's common, is like a ChatGPT. I'm paying for it. I'm using Copilot and it's included in my 365 subscription. Very helpful. So King David says he's using for CV, optimization, profile, Resi, ChatGPT, Invisible, Quillbot, and ChatGPT. Okay, so very cool. People who are not using any AI tools, say in the chat, I have put it in the chat, no AI. I want to know who is not using AI today. No AI today. And don't be shy, because the goal is not for you to feel uncomfortable. The goal is for you to say is making sure that we as a community help you get ready for those tools. Okay. Now, how do you go about building your AI toolkit? Most of the people are using GPT, but how do you think about is your AI toolkit? Because you need to have the right toolkit to help you with that. First, purpose of your job discovery and customization for your job hunting. It's a technology stack you need to think about. First is job discovery, LinkedIn Premium, Teal HQ, Simplify Job. These are like the recommended tools. The action for you is to set alerts with keywords, right? You need to set those keywords in the LinkedIn Premium, and then it'll start sending those opportunities right to you if you have the LinkedIn Premium. The resume, and also what I have seen, which I have seen someone do, is also the Google alerts. They have said this is the job opportunity, and they usually put a Google alert. You can also do that. It is a free one, whereas LinkedIn Premium or Teal HQ is a paid one. But this is what people are using, especially people are looking for anything about $100,000 jobs. They are ready to invest in that from a job discovery standpoint. The second one is the resume and the cover letter. This is what majority of the people are using, which is the ChatGPT, Resi, or Teal Resume Builder, like generating and editing the bullet points. So you need to really look at it's very easy to make the tools. Yeah, absolutely. Alerts are great within the first 24 hours. Yeah, you need to be on top of the game. And the third one is the LinkedIn optimization Copilot for LinkedIn. Absolutely good. So when you're posting your post, the Copilot for LinkedIn is great. Resume reworded, and you can audit your profile score. But I'll also share some tools that we have done to give you how we do it, because we have created our own GPT for helping our members to ensure that their resume is good, especially if they are in our DevSecOps program or whether they are in any of the certification program. Chelsea ensures that if they are looking for a job, you work with us and we make things happen for you. Okay. Then the next one is the interview prep. We have is ChatGPT. We have Code Signal also has come up with the interview prep. We are working with them. So if you ever need that access to it, we can make that happen. Really do is creating your mock interview scripts. You need to know how you present. You can have a beautiful resume when you're in front of the customer, in front of a recruiter, or in front of a hiring manager. If you cannot really articulate what you do, you are going to fail. So you need to ensure that your mock interview scripts are there, you have practice, and you're good. And the last one is building your portfolio of work, whether you can use Notion or Canva or GitHub, where you're publishing your personal work samples. So in this particular job hunting stack, how many of you are actually have your job hunting stack, which is powered by AI? Say yes in the chat, so that way we know who is thinking in that particular way from a purpose standpoint and how you're managing your job discovery. Okay, so very good. Looks like most of how to really think about your AI stack, which is fantastic. Okay, so now that we are here, what is like the burning question you have that we have to answer before we go into kind of looking at the GPT and tailoring your resume for a specific job description? What do you want to learn today? Let me pause for a moment. Okay, I need to know how to get your resume past the AI filters. Very good. Interview prep. Okay, we'll talk about that. What else do you want us to answer? Pathways for to using AI properly to secure roles in any situation, and interview prep. Okay, tailoring resume for transferable skills. Let's do that. And tips for AI application in more better way, and tracking companies that are focusing on AI security. Okay, so let's go into using an GPT. Like we created what you call as an agent for us, which focuses on like evaluating the jobs. And I will show you how you need to think about it. So Carolina, if you can go to the next slide. So basically, we'll talk about the resume itself first, and then we'll talk about how to really drive your interview stuff before even you are getting into it. So how do you outreach to those people so that you know how to prepare for the interview itself, and then how you optimize your LinkedIn? Is that good? Okay, so let's go to the next one. So we built Katie, which is our AI job evaluator. Okay. So this particular job evaluator is a GPT that we created. And then I'm going to take you through is the EY GDS consulting role. And we'll upload a resume. That one was submitted to us. And then we are going to look at it together of what needs to be changed, how it needs to be changed, because this is how I am looking at it. When the resumes are submitted, I put in all the job titles and upload the resume and see, is there a match? Does it match from an ATS perspective, a recruiter perspective, and a hiring manager? All the three roles, it has to go through the gate. Is that something you're interested to look at? I'm going to do a live demo. Yes? No? Okay, so let's go through that. Let me do one thing as we do the live demos. Give me a second. This is the time where the computer basically gives up on you, right? So
You are gonna share your screen, right?
yes, yes, yes.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, we are going to go through a live demo, so it's going to be fun. Let's do share my screen. Let me know if you can see it. Can you see it? This is the job description, which is the EY GDS Consulting. So I have two screens. So if I'm looking on this way, is because I get to see your chat. This is where I'm going to do action. Is that good? So this is the one, which is the EY AI-enabled automation. This is the job description, which says is we are highly seeking a highly skilled and experienced senior AI engineers with a minimum of 4 years in data science, machine learning, and preferably experience in LLP. And they are also looking at someone who can develop 4 to 6 developers. There is a lot of the utilize the LLMs and agentic framework, and then utilize vector database, and then the bachelor requirements and minimum years of experience in here. And then you have is agentic concepts, CI/CD pipes. So it's just a great. So this one is definitely a $70,000 jobs. Okay. So let's go through our Katie. So we'll start here. This is the one we built just because when someone is looking for a job, we cannot just send the resume. We also need to evaluate if they are ready. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to take this particular job description. I'm going to give this one. I will take this entire job description. Okay, so let's put that one in. It's going to do something. So let's see what it's going to do. So now that we have the job description here, and also we need to add is the candidate resume. So let's do that. I have a candidate resume, which is hers. So basically what I want is to do is a 3-lens evaluation, which is the ATS analysis on the keyword alignment, structure, and a match score. Recruitment evaluation from a storytelling, presentation, and clarity, and a hiring manager evaluation from impact, leadership, and value. This is what you have to make sure your resume actually achieves that, because this is what is being looked at. Okay, so looks like my network connection is lost. Can you all hear me? No, but Katie, it's only available for our team when we are working on making sure that we are supporting any of the job requests, which is EY job of the week. When that comes in, I put it through here to make sure that we can make the right connection. Okay, looks like something is not working. So let's do it again. Okay, so let's take that, add a picture. Let's do the resume. Not everything works perfectly. So let's see if it does. So it does is the must have. So fit and tailoring, it tells us 88% from the ATS score. Impact is 90%. ATS and clarity is 95%. Technology and credential is 92%. Recruiter score is 9 out of 10. Impact is 9 out of 10. And then ATS and clarity. And manager score is 9 out of 10. Impact is 9 out of 10. Technology credentialing looks good. LinkedIn alignment, URL needs to be listed so that it matches to what they're looking for. Trim and finish. So excellent, concise for 10 years of experience, polished and formatting. Role logistics is US based, so they couldn't score because they didn't talk about which location you are in. And quick story test. Did they pass? Each role tells a clear challenge, action, and a result narrative, which is highly readable. And then final 60-second pass is a top third showcase, which is a full stack with an engineering and then very much a strong recruiter hook. So it type goes through a detailed commentary of it. It gives me a very good idea if this particular person can actually drive the role or can be a very can pass through the ATS or directly go to a recruiter, and then we can take them in front of the hiring manager. Okay. So here is the final summary. So when I send a note to the hiring managers, when they're a perfect fit, is what are their top strengths? What are the top 3 gaps? And then also letting the person know that add something in your resume that you need to, that you have led a team. Also insert these particular keywords for any of the job search in future. Rephrase the headline from senior AI manager to this one, and mention that you have also done AI solution architecture in the professional one. So basically, with regards to this person, from an ATS, 90 out of 10, recruiter fit, 9 out of 5, and hiring manager is 9 out of 10. So her resume is perfectly strong for this particular role. Is that helpful for all of you? Let me stop sharing and then come back to you. Was this good? Like, this is how you need to go through the deep thinking from the ATS perspective, the recruiter perspective, as well as looking at from a hiring manager perspective. So those are your 3 areas, because right now people are looking for very strong leadership skills, not just that you have done some tech. If you want to get to that 60, 70, 80, $90,000 jobs in different country, whatever your tech job salary pool looks like, it helps you. You can, yes, Kathleen, you can do anything in a platform, and it is how you use the prompt. Absolutely. The ATS does not look for the star format. Renee, they look for is the right keyword matches. Can you actually match with certain keywords? My thing is, do not put in places where the discrimination can happen on your resume, whether it's your number of years of experience, the location you are, the anything around diversity. You don't want to put any of that. What you need to put in is what's the project you did, what's the impact, and how you can contribute to any company in your cover letter. That's what they're looking for. They're not looking for anything else. They're looking for very strong candidates who can come immediately within a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they can start adding value. They're hiring to really drive 10x ROI in their roles. So if you cannot come and add that value impact right away, then I think you will not be able to even pass the interview process. Is that helpful? So let me go through one more thing here with you, since you're able to see it. Window in here. And Chelsea has this one. So if you ever want to review your resume, if you are in our programs, absolutely, she will have access to it. She can put it through it. So now let's say reformat the resume to meet this requirement. I did not reformat, update, reformat the requirement, reformat the resume with the right messaging to ensure. Okay, let's see what it does. So do you see, like, it actually started with 10 years of experience deploying enterprise, specialized in there. They also won the second prize for the Microsoft Innovation Hackathon, also the Harvard Edge Certified Programmer. Very much like this kind of one is enough for someone to say, okay, they know that they can come in. Here is the core competency. And then if you look at the professional experience, if she has that, she has led a team, then she can definitely put in there. And also if you look at, she did like save prompt by 40% via the Azure Content Moderator and also GPT-4 moderation. See, look at it. It's much more clear with the certifications that she has already communicated, that she has been part of the Microsoft Innovation Challenge, Agents Hackathon, Generation AI, and some of the selected projects that she has worked on. And I actually would recommend in your resume is some of the projects you have worked on. Very helpful for anyone who is trying to hire. If they know what kind of projects you have worked on, it's very easy to bring you into a discussion, especially if it's in front of the recruiting manager. They love to see what kind of projects have you worked on. That allows them to see, can they come and solve something for the team? And then this one is for the hire ready messaging vibe. Let me talk about one thing, which is I want to give you this article, which we published yesterday. I would love you all to go through it because it tells you what is the never to do checklist. It also talks about if you want is a resume validation checklist. This is for the EY, but it is definitely applies for all the corporate roles that you're applying for. So it talks about your must-haves, the fit tailoring, the impact, the ATS clarity, industry certification. This is very important right now. They are looking for that. LinkedIn alignment, trim and polish, role logistic, and a quick story, and a final 60-second pass. Like the 60-second pass is what they are looking for, is pretty much this one. If I can look at it and say, okay, so if they've gone through a hackathon, that means they've worked with the team, and to win that prize, it would not be easy. So that is my 60-second pass. The second thing that would be is I want to look at what are the projects and certifications they have done. That gives me is, okay, so they actually can have a resilience and persistence to get things done. And then also professional summary shot, like right there. Is that good? Was that helpful for all of you to go through the detail on it? Okay, so what did you learn from this one? What were your kind of highlights or thinking from that? Put it in the chat. What did you learn? What were some of your highlights? And you have to be in one of the programs to get access to this particular one, ensuring that you are getting supported really well. This is not a AI agent that we are releasing out to the public. It is really for us when we get all these resumes and we want to look at is, are they the right talent? Can we communicate the talent? I usually use that and see from a leadership standpoint, recruiter standpoint, and an ATS, because sometimes you would have applied and say, it never went to the recruiting manager. Then usually our team will look and say, okay, if it's a recruiting manager, let's look at if it's right or wrong. Okay, so here is what some of you have said. I learned how I'm going to do my next resume research. Fantastic, Kathleen. So making sure that you connect all the three prongs or three corners of kind of the job itself, from a hiring manager, recruiter, and as well as the ATS, you will be much ahead. But if you are in front of a recruiter, you need to pass that 60-second test. They want to see it and they want to see, yep, they're the right one. I want to look at the rest of the resume and really want to meet with you. Okay. Elizabeth said, I have a lot of work to do. Absolutely. Lisa is custom tailor made to ensure that you're suitable for the job. Yes, most of you, I would say, if you have been in the industry for 10 to 12 years, trust me, it's easy to get that. You have the skills, you have worked on the projects. Tell them about how you have worked on the project, because the hiring manager is looking for someone who can come and work with people. And if you don't talk about that in your job, in a resume, I think you're missing a big point. Okay. And King David said is, I need to get better at adapting AI to massively improve my CV optimization. Kathleen also said this is so good because it was me just thinking of ways to prompt and not knowing how the system works. Absolutely, Kathleen. That's the point. Since you're part of our certification program, we can take your resume and tell us is what jobs you're looking for. either Chelsea, myself, or anybody on the team, we can definitely move the needle for all of you. And that's why the certification programs are so critical, because we know what you're doing and how we can get you in front of the recruiters. Learn that I need to use agent to pull out important attributes to various viewers. Good to understand how the process works on the back end and to learn the focus. Fantastic. Priya is like how to tailor your resume to align to the job description, whether you're a strong fit or not. Absolutely. So Julius is, what of current graduates do we show value without experience? Julius, this is a fantastic question. I would say is, if you are an current graduate, let's say you came out of a finance degree, and you would say, how do I apply that into a role? So you're looking into a finance role and you need finance plus AI role. So let's say you look at a finance role, look at all the projects that you did. Make sure you learn from what you did in the projects. And if you didn't have any of the AI experience, because people are asking for that, go take a certification, join an innovation challenge, or go and work with people like in a group in your local area. Work with them to get your first project done. And if nothing works, let's say you do not have any of it, go and sit down on YouTube and say how to build an AI agent for finance. Just do that. Replicate exactly step by step how they show. That's how exactly how I learn. When I don't know the subject, I'll go through my GPT and I'll say, okay, here is my topic and I want to learn. And maybe I'll give you a prompt. Maybe you can learn through it. But work on a simple project, how a project works, and it will help you. Is that good? And then for earlier career starters who are in 3 to 5 years, what would you recommend? Anytime, if you're young, I always like to see is, have you worked on any project? Period. Do you know that you can work with people and you can work with technology? Right now, with the world, the direction it is going, most of the companies are looking for someone who actually know how to work with the technology itself. The technology, maybe using of the technology, maybe what you call as how to build something using the technology. For example, I built that whole GPT by myself just to reduce the work, because when all these resumes come, I don't know which one is the right fit for this recruiter versus this hiring manager, because they'll say, I'm looking for this person with this kind of persona. Do you have anybody in your database? And I would look at it and say, the way I look for it, I look at the digital network and see who's active, who is actually making a difference, who is contributing to someone's success. That gives me a list. So I have a list of people who are actually doing. One of the person, I would say a few of the person here is Lisa is like that, Priya is like that. So I'm always looking for opportunities for them so they can get there. So how they're engaging in the community, are they just coming to extract, or are they coming to contribute and learn and grow with us? So we want to make sure they are in the game as quickly as possible, in the economic game. The second piece of that is, how are they engaging with the certification or through a program that gives us an idea? Are they ready to raise their hand to come and help us when we really need help? Are they promoting? Are they sharing? Are we working together to help their LinkedIn profile become richer? So when we send it to the recruiter, we say, they're not only good at the skills and mastery, they also care about others when they come in. They also contribute to the greater good. And that is what people are looking for. So you can do all that without even spending a single dime. Just be there for each other, because people are looking for the talent who contributes to other success. That's what the big game in the AI is, because intelligence is democratized and now it's accessible for everyone. How are you going to differentiate is going from me attitude to a we attitude. And that's something the young folks who are entering the workforce, that is a big shift they have to make, because they have to think through how to work with the AI, which is a me kind of model. And then we model is how I work with people. And those two things needs to be aligned. Is that helpful? I know I went through a long-winded answer, but at the end of the day is having a me and a we attitude all aligned rather than just by myself. Okay, Stella says not providing info that may result in bias like age. I would say, Stella, do not put your age in your resume. Do not put how many years you are in the industry. Unless until you are in a board roles, then people look at this. Do you have enough experience to even come and do board governance? Because at that time, you definitely have to put your years of experience. But what you have to say is what are the projects you have worked on, and the length of the project allows a lot for people to make the decision. Okay, so let's talk about how your AI career system looks like. So Carolina, if you can share your screen. Hopefully this one was good. Were you able to find and learn something? And if you need anything, let us know. We may be able to create is a GPT just for you, and we can share it too. So in your AI career system, there are four things I want you all to think through. One is how to write your AI, how to use AI to write your resume, which is what I shared right now. Number two is how to personalize your outreach message to reaching out to hiring managers and recruiters. This one is a game changer. If you can use just this one from today's session, you will be ahead of the game. And then how to optimize your LinkedIn, like how you optimize your stuff and how to track your application and interaction. Okay, let's go to the first one. So, how to use AI to write your resume? The simple things you can do is what are the 10 pieces of advice for improving this resume? What are the key tasks I'm expected to do in this job? So you can always ask, put the job listing and say, what are the key tasks I'm expected to do? You can do that. And what are the key credentials and certification I must have for this kind of a role? So it's very easy. So it's always important for you to know which job role you're going to be. You want to be a product manager, or do you want to be a marketing manager, or you want to be an architect? You need to know exactly what your north star of the career looks like. And then you can ask is, what am I expected to do as a product manager? What am I expected from a credentials and certification I must have for this career? So that way you can start preparing. There's one thing which I love, this particular GPT. It's a public GPT. Over 10 million people have used, I believe. Next slide, please. I would love you to take a screenshot and reach out to this one. It's an interview and resume CV and a job in a career coach. Everything around the job stuff, you can use it. Like, she has the highest insight, and you will get everything that you would need from building your resume. It's better than our GPT. My GPT and what we have created for Women in Cloud is really to match you to the job and making sure that we can provide a recommendation for the recruiting managers and hiring managers to look at. But this one is like a broader one. You can use that. Is that good? Helpful? Take a screenshot. Next one is how to reach out to the hiring managers and what do they want. So let's go to the next one. This is my favorite thing, and I would love if you could do that, because it's a game changing when you are able to find the experts or find the hiring manager. Let's say you found that they are the hiring managers, or they are saying is I'm hiring on the LinkedIn profile, and you know they are hiring. So you can really send a subject in the LinkedIn. Please take a screenshot. Whatever the job it is, never talk about the job, but talk about, I want to explore a brief consultation on your cybersecurity or AI or whatever they are doing insights. You say, I see you that you're leading some great projects or initiative and have significantly advanced whatever the topic it is. I want to understand your approach for whatever they are doing. Would it be possible to connect briefly for a consultation? I'm willing to pay for your valuable insights. Okay, do that one for your relevant topic. And we can do it together. If you want us to really help you on the GPT, we can do that. Once they say yes, schedule a 30-minute meeting. That's it, not more than that. A 30-minute meeting. Don't send a link saying, oh, here is my calendar, please schedule. No, you're going to say, these are the 3 times. Are you available to meet with me? And when you meet with them, because they're a hiring manager, they're testing you also how you approach, you're building a relationship. The first 0 to 5 minutes. It's a warm rapport building piece. Just understanding who they are, who you are, why you're even reaching out. The question number one is discover the role and the daily routine. What does that routine looks like from the projects they are working? Question two is understand the necessary accommodation and success factors. And question number three is identify skills and qualities. And number four is explore the application process and best practices. And question number five is discuss next step and potential support opportunity. That is what, if you do it really well, and you can structure the conversation, but the conversation structure needs to be done. You are prepared, you have your questions, you know what the outcome of each question looks like. Thinking from like a sales mindset, you need to think like that because you are going to optimize the time. Most of the time they will give you a lot of stuff and they'll also say, hey, I love the way you approached, are you looking for a job? And you say, yes, I am looking for a job and I'm looking for these kind of roles. If you have any, would you recommend me that? I would love to keep you in my database. Is that good? Does it help? This is how majority of the people who are looking for a job and they are actually engaging, who are on the top 1%, they're doing this one. And I want you all to do that. Do not blindly put everything in the ATS. Do this one through the LinkedIn. Get your LinkedIn really look good. It feels like rich and robust. And I will show you Priya's LinkedIn. It's pretty rich. I love how she's engaging the audience. In the last 3 months, she has moved the needle on her LinkedIn profile. So you want to do that because when people say, yes, I want to meet with you, you will do that. Now, let's say they say, yes, I am interested. Go back, Carolina, just a minute. If they say, yes, I would love you to pay for consultation, make sure you do two ways. If they say, no, I don't need any money, great. After the meeting is done, send them a gift or a book or a coffee card, do something. If they say, yes, I would love for you to pay for a consultation, pay anywhere between $100 to $200. It is the best consultation you'll have. You'll have the best because now there is also an obligation for them to make you really successful. It is the best investment you can make. Sounds good? And also it helps remove the clutter because a lot of people are reaching out for jobs, but you are using a very unique angle, and this one will help you move the needle on it. Is that good? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Put it in the chat for me. Say, okay, perfect. Okay, let's go to the next one is hold on, go back here. What did you like in this model? Put it in the chat. I want to have you tell me how you're thinking. What did you like about the process and why did you like it? I know you like the line. I like it, but how do you woo them for the role if you really want it? King David, you never should be always looking only for a job. That one is a wrong attitude to go in. What you should be looking on is to build a relationship, and the relationship opens up the door for the jobs. And this is a creative way of reaching out to the recruiters. Absolutely, because it's a different approach, it's a creative approach, and it is also allows them to know that you're just not looking for what I need. It's not a me conversation, it's a we conversation. Okay. Approaching the network conversation, building the relationship. Absolutely. My challenge for all of you is drive this one over the next 1 week, 3 conversation, drive it and see if you're able to get a conversation with a recruiter. If you did, ping me or Chelsea and let her know that we were able to move the needle. If you don't do this one, trust me, in the AI world, you are not going to get the job easily. I will guarantee you that. There's a relationship in the middle of the whole process, or someone is referring you, recommending you, or endorsing you. And to get that endorsement and referrals and recommendation, you have to do something in the community for someone to say, they are very good, very good. I will vouch for them. They are the right people you need to talk to. Okay, fantastic. Let's go to the next one. How to reach hiring managers. Actually, that we went through. Let's go through how to optimize my LinkedIn. Let's go to the next one. So when you're thinking about the LinkedIn, you need to think about your header and bio headshot. And then you need to know what is happening on your recent post. That gives a very good idea. Are you active or you're not active? And then the featured section. What are the pinned posts? What are they really doing? And an experience. What are the experience? The content, how they are planning, sharing, posting, and engaging. So content plays very much, and follower and connection and measurement and analytics. So let's go through. Priya, are you okay? Will you be okay to join on the call with me as we go through it? Because you did pretty fabulous work on this one. Go back, Carolina. Go back to the slide. Bring Priya on the stage. That would be great. And I am going to do is window and here. Okay, so let's go to Priya. Hi, Priya. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing good. How are you, Chaitra?
I am doing
Happy
good.
to be here.
Great. First of all, you went through is the LinkedIn profile work over the last 3 months, and you have made a significant impact, like the changes. And I'm very happy. I've seen like you have grown up like 300 followers in the last 3 months, which is pretty cool, which is awesome. I think you'll get to 1,000 very quickly. But here's how she did. Actually, instead of me telling, talk to me. What are all the changes you did as you updated your LinkedIn?
Actually, thank you, Chaitra, for this opportunity. But how I built this, like looking great and all inside that is shared by you. Can you remember that I attend one session that about how to optimize our LinkedIn profile? So that helped me to my LinkedIn profile to look like that. So first of all, I have to say thank you to you.
You're welcome.
That's the main thing I would say. After that, I follow all the tips that provided for you. Being active, like we have to make sure our voice heard, like in LinkedIn, being active. So that's how we can make new connections.
So here's a couple of things. As Priya did it, this was the first thing that she updated is is looking for an IT operation analyst, very clear on her banner. If you don't have your banner updated, I would say update it. The simple way to do is use Canva, update that. What's the kind of role that you are? And then connect me on LinkedIn. Just do that and have a very good profile picture. And then because Priya is looking for a job, she also did an association with Women in Cloud as a very strong brand ambassador. So that also allows her to get, when people are looking for it, they know that she's associated with a brand, a community that she's actively engaged in. She also made sure that the followers show up right here. And what it does is anytime you cross 1,000 followers, that means you're active, you are engaged in the LinkedIn, or recruiting managers or the hiring managers are looking for someone who has a follower of 1,000 to 3,000 as an average. That means you are connected in the networks. Priya, fantastic work for moving the needle on it. And maybe we do something with you so that we can up it to 1,000. Okay. And then she also worked on here, like working on what her core skill set. And I would still, Priya, I would maybe just remove these two lines and remove these two lines. Just my first thing, because it may just give somebody that you're a mom and there's bias. You don't want to do anything. You just need to put this one here as your about and then remove these two. You can say you're up to date with the credential and just remove that one. So just like that,
Sure, I'll do that.
remove this section. She is very clear with her certification. She has the recent experience and the core skills. She can also put in maybe just 2 or 3 projects that she's working on, like she was working on with Women in Cloud. You can put some projects here. And then if you look at the activity, she is active. So 22 hours ago, one day. And if you look at it, she's been pretty active 1 week. So she's actively making stuff. If she is not creating new content, she is definitely reposting it. That's the best way, is find a community and their content and just reshare on your LinkedIn. If you cannot create the content, that's the fastest way. Then she also said what her role has been. She's a community member. She has been an analyst, and then she also has the, what do you call this, the college education. Here is the licensing and certification, and she can also get recommendations from us, and we can do that one. Okay, Priya. So we can definitely do a recommendation by just saying what our relationship is after the Opulus project is done. Make sure that we give you a recommendation. Okay.